Good afternoon, folks. Dennis Jr. here with Zager Guitars in Lincoln, Nebraska. Having customers ask me about the finish that we use on our guitars. I'll get straight to the point. We use a very thin poly finish on our guitars. I had a few folks asking about these nitrocellulose finishes. You know, many times you'll be buying a guitar stand or a guitar case and it says don't use a nitrocellulose finish guitar in this case or with this guitar stand. Well, you don't have to worry about that with our guitars. We use a very thin poly finish on our guitars. I know the nitro finishes, they come on very high end. I think Gibson has them, things like that. I don't even know if they do them anymore. They were back in the 60s, 70s, that sort of thing. They did project a very good sound, but what we've been doing, and we've been doing this for about 25 years now, is using a very thin poly finish because it's much more durable. You don't get into issues with things of, you know, putting it in the wrong case or putting it in the wrong guitar stand and having it basically ruin your nitro finish. Instead, we use a very thin poly finish, and I know there's a lot of shops that they'll use a thicker poly finish, but in doing so, you ruin the sound quality of the guitar because, you know, you get your sound from this movement in the body and this movement in the face. And when you put a really thick finish on a guitar, it impedes that movement. And when you impede that movement, you impede your sound quality. You'll see a lot of artists and players of our guitars comment that they barely hit a string and the guitar just jumps out and reverberates really huge. This is part of why. It's that our bracing system too has a lot to do with it, but it's all these things combined. And this really thin poly finish we use, it's very protective of the guitar, which is great. And I can understand why these shops are putting, you know, thicker finishes to a point because they want to protect their guitars, but it defeats your purpose if you're using that thick of a finish and it damages your sound quality. So we use a very thin poly finish that allows that big movement, so when you hit a string, you know, you just feel it reverberate through your chest. That's what customers say about our ZAD 900 and especially our ZAD 80 series. Both of these guitars, again, they're rosewood with a little bit different bracing system in it, but we use that very thin poly finish on it. So it protects the guitar, but it also allows the woods to move. And that is extremely important to get that big sound out of guitars. So hopefully that helps answer your questions. And if you have any others, don't be afraid to call or email. I'm available 7 days a week, so I will take care of you. All right, take care, folks.